what do you do in a situation when someone instigates something, and then tells you either you're emotionally reasoning, or they tell you that you have a victim mentality? Uh, so, um, I've had a number of different conversations with my father. Not conversations, arguments. It almost seems like what he wants to do is just argue with me for the sake of arguing, or just playing devil's advocate with me because he finds it fun. Which is like, why are you doing this? Like, if I was to look at the amount of times I've disrespected my father, and the amount of times that he's just blatantly disrespected me, I think it would be 95% of the time on his side. You know, um, if if every time I talk to him, it's always an argument, I would just say, man, maybe I'm not the problem. Um, I mean, I'm trying to work through all this. I'm trying to find answers to it. Um, and I don't know what else to do. I keep trying to find a therapist to talk to about all this. But it's just the end of the year and no one wants to do therapy the day before, you know, before the new year. It's in a few hours. Another year with no friends, no career, no girlfriend. But I'm changing all that next year. I'm not saying that's my New Year's resolution, but I've been uh, fixing to do this for the last couple of years. First, I had to get myself sober. Lot of escapism into the booze because I didn't know what to do. I almost killed myself with the booze. I'm glad I'm done with that. At least I hope so. You know, I still get that temptation in my head to drink, and nah, just not for me. Not for me anymore. And as far as it goes for the rest of it, um, hmm. So why would my dad say I have like the victim mentality? I'm trying to problem solve something. Like, let's say my yeah, I'll give my dad a solution to a problem, and he tells me I'm being the victim about something. Um, okay. So what are you calling me, a bitch? You calling me a chick? Why would you say I'm emotionally reasoning something after you pissed me off? And oh, see, there it is. You're the only guy pushing my buttons because you knew me since I was 1 years old, right? So, ugh, since I was born. Let's go back further, right? Uh, so I would say that it's a reflection of what's going on in his mind. Like, um, you ever hear about any of that where someone will say, what they say about you is actually a reflection of themselves? I think maybe that's more of what's going on. So I can't talk to my father because every time I talk to the man, all he does is just argue at me. So like I'm kind of done with it. You know, like it. Look, it if you can't grow up and understand what the problem is within yourself, um, look, Dad, you got a lot of other stuff that you have to fix on your side. It's not my fault that I have a different opinion than you, and for some reason or another, um, you know, you can't um, figure out what to do in those situations. And he'll tell me all the time, "Oh, I bent over backwards to help you. I got you a house." Okay, right, but that wasn't the kind of help that I needed. You know, the whole time growing up, I needed a therapist. I needed someone to tell me. I needed a mentor. I needed, you know, guys around me that were going to help me, go work out, eat right, figure out my health problems, and for the most part, like the military, the Marines did all that for me. I figured out what a good routine throughout the day is, get up first thing in the morning, eat, work out later, take a shower, run on the treadmill for an hour while you're watching TV, start your day that way. Just discipline yourself to do it that way. But then the thought comes into your head, does it really matter about anything at the end of your life existence? Does it really matter, right? Whatever your legacy is, does it really matter in the ending? Do I have to work that hard? And then you come back to the other thought of, well, I want money because there's other things I can do with money. I don't want money because I want to buy certain things. It's just money comes with other things. I want to build the mansion I've been dreaming about since I was like, 10 years old. And as far as that goes, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'd probably need like $10 million to do it. And just to have that as the gem in my life would be so cool. I would love to have that, and just design major it out, just big sprawling staircases, chandelier, fountain, tiles on the floor, all on the inside, and this huge staircase that wraps around the entire facade, backside of the, well, that's different things. The 2-story vaulted ceilings, with this giant chandelier and these staircases that go up, and the hallway is behind it. All just turns into one big thing, with all these statues on every part out into the staircase, and everything's interconnected. Everything is bio-designed out to its major point. I think that would be really sick. I really want to be able to do that. But like, how do I get to that goal? What do I do in order to make that happen? Yeah. And my dad tells me all these things like, well, like he's got this like weird perception of, well, I want to do the things that my destiny is. I want to find my destiny. I want to find my what God put me here. Why did he make my brain this way? Why did he why did he give me all of this knowledge and not enough confidence to do anything with it? And I think it's just a matter of upbringing. If you got someone that every time you say something to him, hey, I found this cool guy, Luigi Colani, or I found, Anthony Gaudi, this prolific designer, and I really like this kind of design language, and I really like cars that are designed to be probably the next generation of cars. Go look at any of Kalani's things. They're all awesome. And he just wants to squash everything that ever tried to show him, like it's kind of like the same thing of, you get a picture from your kid, right? And I've seen people do these things where they will like their kid will draw a picture and like they'll hang it up on the on the fridge or something like that, like what normal people do. And I think my dad would just take my artwork and just throw it in the trash. You know. I remember one time I came back from the military and my my stepmother was having a yard sale. Like the one time she had a yard sale at her place, right? At the place I grew up. So all my stuff that was left there, because of coming back from the military. So I had like Harry Potter bed sheets, a memory foam mattress, stuff I had in like these little plastic drawers, and I had a whole bunch of writings and stuff on the walls of stuff. I wanted to go back and reread it. And I came back from the military and I had like I was reading a bunch of different religious books. So I had the Catholic Bible and the Quran. And every time I get one of these kind of books, someone always tears out, like little bits of this or little bits of that for some reason. And I'm trying to understand this other religion that's around me, because I don't really like the Quran at all. I don't. I'm just trying to study it because it's a big population out here in Dearborn. And I want to kind of know what these guys think. I want to know it better than them, because it's, not a, I don't really believe in the Quran, and that more or less comes back to, Muhammad was retarded because he couldn't read, and Archangel Michael or Gabriel came down and gave him the Quran. There was no other people around him. Guy was probably smoking hashish or something in his tent, some hallucinogenic thing. But where'd the book come from? I don't know. He probably wrote it in a crack dream, right? And there's a lot of opiates out in that part of the world, a lot of military guys protecting that crop in Iran. But as far as that goes, under George Bush, right? So he finds these kinds of things in my room, and it's just lots of trauma of things like that. He's trying to passive aggressively like goat me, right? Someone at work, some Muslim girl was trying to ask me, hey, do you want to learn about the Quran? And Dad turns around and goes, nah, there's no evidence for the reasons why I should believe in, Muhammad and the Quran, is because there was no definitive answer. There was no one else around to see all the events that happened that were said in that book, which is the same point I take. But the fact that my dad said it to me was just like, okay, why would you think that I am a converted? He always makes these assumptions. Why would you think I'm a converted Muslim because I have a Quran in my room, but I also have a Bible, Catholic Bible from, if I was going to be doing something like that, I would tell you. Why would I hide that? Why does he think I'm hiding something from him? There's a lot of that too. There's a lot of that too with him, where he seems to think um, I have an ulterior motive for something, and every time I try to talk to him about something and he makes me uncomfortable about whatever it is, I'm trying to tell him politely, look, man, you're pissing me off. I don't I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. And like, instead of getting the hint, he wants the answer. So he's instigating me until like fucking I get to a point where either I want to jump out of the car or I want to kick his ass. You know? And you're just like, dude, leave me alone. You know? I don't have an answer for your one weird question right now. I don't care. I don't care. We're not thinking about this. We're driving in the car. Why are you asking me questions like this? You know? And it's almost like he's purposely trying to piss me off. You know? Like one of these, like, here's one of these things. Oh, yeah, prove it. Prove it. You know? He can't just believe anything. He has to have proof. He doesn't trust anyone, right? So finally, I tell him. Here's another event that happened. Was I had to borrow some money from our grandfather, who's like rich. I don't mean like rich. Dude's fucking Scrooge McDuck of the family. Okay. Bananas how rich this guy is, you know, and he's not a bad person. He's not a Scrooge, you know. Just vaults of money, lives very well, you know, lives within his means, but guy carries like $2,000 on him all the time, you know, like that kind of guy. Pocket change is $2,000, you know. Like, shit, you know, this guy's got money. So, I needed to do, I needed to find a job while I was in Livonia. My car broke down and I didn't have car insurance. So I needed to ask my grandfather for like, oh my God, it was so high at the time. It was like $1,600 or something. And he told me, look, if you don't pay me back for this, like, I'm never going to talk to you again or something like that. And so Dad gets me in the car and then he calls up Grandpa. And like, now I'm being forced to talk to Grandpa when he told me, you know, like, hey, don't bother talking to me again if you don't do this. And like, why is Dad trying to smoke me out like this? You know? And you know, so why'd you spend the rest of the money on something else instead of this? Yeah, because I was trying to rip off Grandpa, right? No, what happened was you need a chauffeur's license or something like that. You can't use like regular insurance technically. A lot of people don't do this, but you're supposed to do it the right way. You're supposed to get like a chauffeur's license so you can ferry people in the back of your car. And if anything else happens, like you get sexually assaulted or the person in your car gets fucked up because you get in a car crash or something, like you're not liable for them or something like that, right? And so strange, but like that's just how you're supposed to do things. So I had enough for it to get like the regular insurance. And I find out, well, they won't certify me unless I have this other insurance. And the other insurance is like $3,000 for like a year or 6 months or something. Dude, you're getting ripped off. No, I mean, my driving record was pretty bad. You know, no DUIs, Nothing like that. But I just had a bunch of really stupid people just run into my car, and the couple times that I did something, it was like I slipped on black ice because the car has no power. I probably had the wrong tires on my car, and try and hit the brakes, and you slide an extra couple of feet, and like I bent into a curb. And, I don't think I've ever actually hit anyone with my car. So I've had it for like 15 years. So my dad's trying to pin me down and ask me, So he calls me up, and sure, the conversation goes awkwardly. Of course it does. In this situation where I haven't paid my grandfather back, and now dad's asking me, well, why didn't you pay him? Why didn't you use it for car insurance? Well, I tried, but I was going to ask him for another fucking $1,600 on top of what it was. So, like, I needed food, so I spent $100, and then I didn't have enough to get the car insurance, or something like that. I don't remember. I was just kind of a drunk back at the time. So long ago. But it's not the problem with, the money situation. It's just this. A lot of sticking points for me of, another time we're driving in the car and I'm bored, so I'm talking about battery powered cars and I'm not environmentalist, but I think this battery technology is going to catch up soon. And I'm telling my father just, out of nowhere, yeah, they're going to make these other batteries called like something phosphate, sodium phosphate based batteries. And they're going to get like 1,500 miles per charge for these new cars. So like 300, 500 is going to be like a thing of the past. Oh yeah, prove it. And like now I'm sitting in the back of the car with my phone, I've already been in the car for like half a day, and I bring up this one point, and now we're arguing about fucking battery technology. Instead of just agreeing with me and just being a positive person, like instead of just like believing what I'm saying, he wants to be a skeptic with me of all people, who my track record for like what, lying? Untrustworthy. Man, it still gets me. I don't know what fable my father has built up in his head, but, and then even after that, I tell him, yeah, look, see, sodium phosphate, they're cheaper batteries. This is what's gonna happen, and what? Whoa, we're the best over here in America. How come we aren't using that technology? I don't know. You guys are just retarded at Ford. You're falling behind. You're not making the right investments. You're not looking at any of the new technology. So lithium ion batteries are out, and you guys over at Ford must be retarded because you let Chris Farley pump out way too many F-150 Lightnings. Yeah, cool concept. You should have tried it at a smaller scale, jackass. 50% of your fleet you wanted to be F-150 Lightnings. Why? Because you wanted to take over Tesla's market for electric fucking cars? Oh, it's an untapped market. Yeah. Music for fish. It's a Death Clock reference. Electric eel chair. Scuba tank full of farts. Yeah, this is gonna totally put me on top. Label's gonna love this. Some music for fish. Was a good album though. But guess I'm a fish. But as far as it goes for the rest of this stuff, and then Dad finally retired from Ford, and and I've been dogging him for years about how dog shit fucking Ford is, and like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you doing the things you're doing? I don't know. Maybe he takes it as if like I'm trying to point out all the flaws. I'm poking holes in the indestructible ship is known as Ford. But like blatant things that need to get fixed within that company, and like they're just not doing it right now. So I wish him the best. I wish my dad the best, but dude, just get off my back. Yeah, I'm tired of him telling me you have a victimhood mentality. What do you mean? Someone wronged me and I've been slighted and I should just roll over and that's okay. You got me fucked up, dude. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. There's more to it, but I'm just spitballing this as I'm going. I don't have a script. So, yeah, I'm not really planned out about this. Alright, see ya.